I'm the only Omega in the Special Forces, and I'm also the cold-blooded captain who kills without hesitation. On the day my heat hit, a spy from the enemy's side broke in. What do you think those alphas you've trained like dogs would do if they found out their feared and respected captain was actually an Omega? He smashed my suppressant and lunged at me like he had a death wish. Captain, I work better than any suppressant. You really ought to give me a try. 1. A mutated virus brought about the apocalypse. The surface became a slaughterhouse overrun with monsters. The remaining survivors built an underground base called Sky Eye. I'm the captain of the base's elite combat unit. As captain, I've got unmatched reflexes and top-tier combat skills. But because I'm slim and pale, new recruits often try to challenge me. Man, look at that waist. Captain's got some real moves. If he were an Omega, I'd have him make me some babies. Veteran soldiers nearby snickered and stepped aside. Ha, here we go again. This happens every year. I swept my gaze over them, finally locking eyes with someone at the end of the line. His eyes cut straight through everything. The 12 spies I've killed, they all had this same mocking, provoking look in their eyes. You, step forward. Orson stood up. He was half a head taller than me, his physique perfectly sculpted. I tapped the button on my wristwatch that activated the laser control panel, instantly marking out a 10 square meter combat ring. No holds barred. Life or death doesn't matter. Captain, I wasn't even part of that conversation. Begin. I ignored his protests. My claw strike shot straight toward his chest. That move, I've used it to rip out 2 spies' hearts before, but Orson dodged it. In the scuffle that followed, he didn't fight back, just kept dodging. I had no intention of letting him off easy. I used a feint to bait him. The moment he got distracted, I zipped behind him, charging up a full-force knee strike aimed at his spine. That's when it hit. A sharp, overpowering scent of gunpowder-scented pheromones slammed into me. My heart pounded, my vision blurred for a second. By the time I recovered, his hand was already clamped tightly around my throat. Captain, did I offend you somehow? Why were you going in for the kill every move? As he spoke, his hand reached toward the back of my neck. The moment he touched my burning, swollen gland, a smirk curled on his lips. Captain, you're in heat, aren't you? I landed a whipping kick and cracked his shin clean through. Just as I was about to finish him off, Galen stepped in and stopped me. Commander on deck. Everyone immediately stood and saluted in perfect sync. Galen, dressed in a dark green uniform, looked tall and intimidating. His presence radiated authority and kept people at a distance. His gaze on me was a mix of analysis and curiosity. He dismissed the team and pulled me into a more private area. Casper, your susceptibility phase started early. Thanks for your concern. Sir, need my help with it? As soon as he spoke, his signature cedarwood-scented pheromones wrapped around me. I coldly brushed his hand away. No need. Sensing my resistance, Galen changed the subject. Why did you try to kill him? Did you sense something off? No, I like him. Just wanted to test him a bit. Casper, don't be so cold to me. Can we just talk? He grabbed my wrist with clear force. Just as I was debating whether to strike, Hollis swooped in, voice nasal and hands quick, looping his arm through Galen's. Galen, what are you doing in a place like this? It's gross and stinks in here. He waved a hand in front of his nose, eyes flitting between me and wait, when did Orson get behind me? Orson sniffed himself, then leaned over to sniff me too. Doesn't stink to me. Especially not Captain. He smells amazing. Maybe it's your mouth making everything stink when you talk. Galen, did you hear him? Hollis stomped his feet angrily, shaking Galen's arm, clearly demanding justice. You're a new recruit. What's your name? Galen asked, voice sharp. Orson shrank behind me, gently lifted my arm to cover himself, and whispered, Captain, I was just standing up for you. Standing up for me? Or was this spy trying to cozy up to me to get closer for his mission? Protocol says I should hand him over to Galen. But just then, something tugged at me, a hint of sympathy. Maybe, I thought, maybe using him would be more useful than killing him. Facing Galen's sharp glare, I spoke calmly but firmly. My subordinate, I'll handle him myself. 2. My susceptibility period showing up early, that had never happened before. And this time, it wasn't just early, it lasted longer and hit harder. During training, my glands suddenly swelled and throbbed. I had no choice but to order the squad to run 20 laps while I returned to my quarters to inject a suppressant. Once the dose kicked in, my emotions slowly settled. Leisurely, I made myself a cup of Ya-Oo Star growth milk. As I stirred it, I silently prayed for a second growth spurt. I didn't need much, just make it to 180 centimeters. Otherwise, every time I yelled at those towering alphas, I'd have to crane my neck. Just as I finished stirring and was about to drink, that now familiar scent of gunpowder pheromones hit me again. I grabbed the cup and hurled it behind me. To my surprise, Orson caught it cleanly, then took a sip. Sweet drink, no nutrition. With a wicked grin, he added, "Captain, I've got milk too. Way more nutritious. Want a taste?" I swung a punch at his nose. This time, he reacted fast, caught my fist in his palm. "Last time I got knocked out, I wasn't ready. That won't happen again." Before he could finish, I threw the whole cup of milk in his face. Silence. I wiped my hands and tossed the tissue at him. "How'd you get in here?" Orson spat out a mouthful of milk. "Everyone else is in training except for me, the injured guy. And, well, your door wasn't locked, Captain." I figured it was an invitation. Invitation for what? He cleared his throat and said dramatically, "Reproduction. Is the Annihilator unit mocking me by sending a dumb musclehead like this as a spy?" I tapped his collar with my training stick and ordered, "Take it off. I can't see anything through clothes." "Ha!" A flicker of panic crossed his eyes. "Strip. I need to inspect you." "Inspect what, exactly?" I tapped just below his stomach with the end of the stick. "Your capability." 3. I had planned to make him strip completely before kicking him out in shame, but as he took off his shirt, that centipede-like old scar around Orson's waist was glaringly obvious. The image collided with a memory. 10 years ago, when the mutants first appeared, before the world fully collapsed, all selections were strictly based on ability. Both Omegas and Alphas could join. Information was kept secret, no one cared about status. I entered as the top scorer in the entire program. That was also when I met Galen and Hollis. Galen approached me first. He said my marksmanship was excellent and asked me to teach him. I agreed. Hollis, standing behind him, looked down on me with contempt. Galen had good talent and worked hard, quickly becoming one of the best in the team. But what he really wanted was to be number one, and that spot was always mine. Once during my susceptibility phase, I ran out of suppressants and asked him to bring me one. But just as I was about to lose control, he arrived late and explained he couldn't find any. "Casper, let me help you." His pheromones instantly wrapped around me, pure cedar scent. His breath close to my ear. His confession was like a haunting wind chime, rattling my fragile rationality. "Casper, I love you." He tried to get closer, but I pushed him away. When the mutants first emerged, my parents sacrificed themselves saving others. I inherited their beliefs and joined the forces protecting the base and humanity. If someday my relationship with him was exposed, it would be me, the Omega, who'd be kicked out first. Absolutely no way. Seeing my firm rejection, Galen finally handed me the hidden suppressant. After my emotions calmed, he pleaded, "Tomorrow there's an A-level mission. I want you to take me along." A-level missions were medium difficulty, meant for rookies to build courage and get used to the battlefield. I guessed he was scared, so I agreed. Later I found out Hollis, his partner, had faked sickness to skip it, so Galen came to me as a substitute. The next day, a sudden emergency happened. Before I returned, he activated a flying device and left me stranded in a cave to die. Luckily, I survived and was captured by the Annihilator faction. Unluckily, I became a test subject. Every day they injected me with all kinds of drugs. When my body rejected them, it felt like millions of ants crawling into my ears, biting wildly, burning my insides. I endured daily blood draws and unknown injections. After a month-long blood transfusion, my body was covered in sores and pus, then soaked in special disinfectant water. That feeling. Finally, a kid shut off the machine and rescued me. To cover my retreat, he got injured. The wound matched Orson's scar. "So it was you, kid." I reached out and touched the scar. Orson gasped sharply, froze, and didn't dare move. I picked up the shirt from the ground and put it on him myself. "Tomorrow we're hunting the snake nest mutant. You're going alone. That mission is impossible." "Exactly. Fail, and don't come back. Orson, don't come back. If your identity is exposed, I won't be able to protect you." 4. But he dragged himself back, wounded all over. "Didn't I say if you can't finish the mission, don't come back?" "I finished it, Captain. Don't you see I'm making things hard for you? You're risking your life." "Almost died, but I had to come back. I wanted to see you." His words were sincere, no flattery, no lies. He looked straight at me, pure, burning love shining clearly in his eyes, without any concealment. But I couldn't tell if he really wanted to see me or was just trying to lure me to complete the mission. "From now on, none of that matters. You either become my comrade or a corpse. Orson, I will assimilate you. You must, and only can, be loyal to me." Seeing my serious expression, his smile vanished. He asked cautiously, Captain, are you upset I came back? No, I'm happy. Is there a reward, Captain? Yes. At that moment, he leaned over and planted a snowflake-soft kiss on my forehead, blushing as he whispered, "Is this reward okay?" At the same time, I slipped an SSS-level mission chip into his palm. We both knew the 3S-level missions were practically a death sentence. Orson smiled bitterly. A kiss could kill me. Harsh punishment. Still, he clenched the chip and forced a smile, saluting me. Yes, sir, Captain. 5. While Orson was on the mission, I closely monitored their battle route. I guessed that if Orson were going to die, he'd try to escape or someone would come pick him up. Then, by tracking his locator, I could roughly find the Annihilator base. But one by one, the locators stopped moving at the same spot. In the end, only Orson's was still active. He was still holding on. 20 minutes later, his aircraft crashed near a dark cave, and his location froze there. I frantically recalled the squad. No response. I was about to fly out to look for them myself when a sudden sharp pain struck my chest and spread through my entire body. I tried to push through it, but Galen noticed. Is it the rejection reaction again? No. Stay here. I'll go. You're the commander, you can't leave. I'm the commander. Not useless. A patrol mission, I can handle it. Galen had me sent back to my room and took a squad out to search. This rejection reaction hit me harder than ever. Even double doses of medication couldn't suppress it. My glands swelled and burned. One suppressant dose lasted less than 2 hours. Just as I was about to inject the 4th dose, Orson burst in. You can't rely on that forever. Don't you know your body's rejecting it? His eyes were bloodshot. He was covered in wounds, including 3 deep, dark brown scratches across his face. Besides Galen, only the Annihilator knew about rejection reactions. So for him to say this so openly, was he ready to confess? Tell me, why do I have rejection? Speak, Orson, confess to me. Maybe I'll forgive you. A flicker of shock flashed in his eyes. Realizing his mistake, he nervously avoided my gaze and muttered, I don't know. I ignored him and kept injecting. He smashed all my suppressants, nearly begging, Captain, try me. I'm definitely better than suppressants. Get out. I ordered someone to carry him away, but Orson's expression changed. He slammed the door and locked it. Casper, don't blame me. He pushed me down, trying to forcibly mark me. You dare. Temporary mark. I won't allow it. In the chaos, I found a needle and pressed it against his chest. Try me. The needle tip pierced flesh slowly, but his pheromones only grew stronger, not stopping at all. I didn't hesitate. I turned the needle toward my own heart. Try me. Orson broke down. Why? Do you hate me that much? Yes. I hate disloyalty. 6. I kicked Orson out. He sat by the door all night, releasing pheromones to calm me. The next day, when I came out, he had already collapsed on the floor, pale as a ghost. His clothes stuck to dried blood. I had him carried to my room. I wanted to head to the supply room to grab something to regain strength, but Hollis blocked my way. Casper, I'm Galen's only partner. Can you stop clinging to him over some old crap from 10 years ago? You got captured because you're weak, not because of him. Who else can you blame? Who exactly is still stuck on that old nonsense? So annoying. You're just obsessed with winning Galen's favor, hoping to lie in some breeding ground and have his kids. My mission is to destroy the Annihilators and protect the base. Our battlefields aren't even the same. Don't treat me like your enemy. Wow, you sound so noble and great. Have you been captain so long you forgot who you are? You're a lowly Omega just like me. Believe me, if your identity leaks, you'll be lying in the breeding ground tomorrow, used and abused by thousands. Threatening me? Not really. Just letting you know I hold your weak spot. You'd better treat me well, or else. I pulled my gun and pressed it against his forehead. You can't threaten me. I pulled the trigger without hesitation, but then a laser beam hit me, hot, burning, and my hand swelled red. Galen stepped in front of him. What happened 10 years ago was my fault. Don't hurt innocent people. Hollis is immature. I apologize on his behalf. Don't be angry. I'm not angry. Not angry. What do you want me to be? Well, it's better to hate me than ignore me. Casper, can we talk? I was exhausted and didn't want to deal with them, but just as I shook off Galen's hand, Hollis grabbed me and started whining. Brother Casper, if I hadn't gotten hurt, Galen wouldn't have sent you instead of me. Blame me. He started crying. Galen fussed over him. Chatter, noise, a headache. Suddenly Orson came storming in, kicked both of them away, and pulled me behind him. This isn't your damn bedroom. I'm telling you to tone it down. You shameless fools. Galen's face turned deadly, pulling out his gun to shoot, but I fired first. I used a piercing laser. A charred wound immediately appeared on Galen's arm. This is between us. Don't hurt the innocent. 7. I ordered the place cleaned. Brought Orson back to my room. Locked the door and cut off surveillance. Pressed my gun to his forehead. Now, you answer whatever I ask. Fine. His eyes darkened. How many died? I'm the last one left. When they died, how did you feel? I don't understand. You hate me, so why send them to die with me? My lips twitched. I didn't send them to die. War always costs blood and lives. Today it's them, tomorrow it's me. No one escapes. I pulled up saved footage of the massacre. Human civilization destroyed. Order broken. Morality collapsed. Blood soaked into the earth. Everything stained red. 1 second, a little girl cuddles her mother, pushing a breakfast cart, selling steamed buns, mantu, salted duck eggs. The next, mutant claws pierce them both, like broken dolls, tossed aside on the roadside. Bodies like this litter the land. The population plummeted to 100 million due to apocalypse and disasters, and that 100 million split into factions. Some developed technology, others performed human experiments, extracting supramolecular viruses, turning people into mutants, killing machines. The cries for help in the footage grew more desperate. Orson's spirit slowly broke down. He said you cage Omegas like breeding machines. It's inhuman. This ruthless regime must be overthrown. And you're an Omega too. Who's he? Nico, my adoptive father, the leader of the Annihilators. So you agree with his turning people into mutants to fight for power? No, but he saved my life. I can't betray him. I pressed the gun against his heart. Then what are you going to do? 8. Galen found me and asked why I damaged the surveillance system. Is there something a commander shouldn't know? Of course. You want to listen to us flirting, listen to us sleeping. Casper, Galen held back his anger and pressured me to kill Orson. You knew from the start he was a spy but hid it. Would you sacrifice the people you protect, your beliefs, for him? I sneered. Don't lecture me, you traitor. The next day, my identity was leaked. Galen blamed Orson and wanted to shoot him. I knew what he was up to. Who leaked it didn't matter. He just wanted blood. I gathered those spreading rumors. At first, they denied knowing who started it. I plunged a knife into one's chest, twisted it, grinding blade through flesh and bone, then poured a bucket of concentrated salt water into the wound. For traitors, death is the easiest punishment. I have 1,000 ways to make you suffer worse. Seeing this, the others cracked and confessed. It was Hollis. Galen was first deeply disappointed, then dragged Hollis before me. I reported according to the rules. What's wrong with that? We're all Omegas. Why shouldn't he be a breeding machine? It's your fault for covering for him. Hollis yelled out of control. I said no, many times. You don't have a choice. I can tolerate your nonsense, but you crossed the line this time. You're my bonded partner one-on-one. Casper is your limit. Ridiculous. Right, so I'm breaking the bond with you now. Take him to the breeding grounds. After dealing with Hollis, Galen seemed relieved, as if a heavy burden was lifted. He exhaled deeply and kicked everyone out. Without further words, he came straight to mark me. Casper, let's forget everything and start over. Okay, you've got some nerve. Galen, we're evenly matched. If you try to mark me by force, I won't hesitate to take you down with me. He broke down, kneeling and crying at my feet. I admit I had bad intentions at first, jealousy, using you, but I truly like you now. I just didn't realize it before. During your 2 months captive, I looked for you every day. When you escaped, I was the first to find you. I almost lost an arm to mutants trying to bring you back. He rolled up his sleeve, showing a scar. I'm not trying to take credit. I owe you. Even killers have the right to appeal. You can't sentence me to death. Casper, I want to make it up to you. I want to reconcile. Give me another chance, please. I rubbed my temple and met his pleading gaze. Galen, don't make this harder for me. He lost it completely, smashing everything in the room. I sent Hollis to the breeding grounds for you. What more do you want? You treat the sacrifices Omegas make to preserve human civilization as a punishment clause, like it's owed to you. And you ask if I'm satisfied? You should remember to be grateful for their sacrifice. Galen, 10 years, and you still don't know respect. Just before Hollis was forcibly bonded with a strange alpha, I pulled him out, but he wasn't grateful. Instead, full of hatred, blaming me for everything. If it weren't for you, Galen wouldn't have treated me like this. Now you come here pretending to be the good guy. Do you really think I'm the one who ruined you? Of course. Without you, Galen would have loved me forever. An alpha's love won't keep you on the throne. Only power can. What you need to do is rise to power. Hold it tightly, and save your people from the abyss, not drag them down. I hope next election you make a different choice. 9. My identity was leaked, and my situation became awkward. Orson suggested we run away together. There must be other bases, or if not, we can start our own. The world's big, there's gotta be somewhere for us. Alright, but just 10 minutes after taking off in the aircraft, we were followed. We both recognized the Annihilator's emblem. Orson frantically denied betraying me. He swore he hadn't. I smiled calmly. I know, it was me who sent the signal. Why? You always say you can't make a choice. I made it for you. I'm also curious, if I were tortured to death by your adoptive father, would you stand by or avenge me? Casper, you bastard. He swung a fist at me, but I easily dodged. I grabbed his neck and kissed him. The anger in Orson's eyes almost burned through, his lips bitten raw. I found his glands and pressed gently. Just 2 seconds after releasing pheromones, his breathing grew heavy, gasping near my lips. I effortlessly passed the locator capsule from my mouth to his. What did you just make me swallow? Lover's curse. If one dies, the other dies too, so you better save me. 10. Once again, I was brought back to the lab, but this time, Orson wasn't a bystander, he was the lead surgeon. Nico kept increasing the virus's potency, and I was the only living test subject left in his hands. He said my physiology might be the strongest among all surviving humans. Because of this, they kept sending undercover agents to lure and capture me. Only Orson succeeded. Nico praised Orson highly, not only promoting him but also tentatively naming him as his successor. Your prize, you will dissect and modify. If the experiment succeeds, he will become the strongest mutant, under your control. When Nico said this, his eyes gleamed with greedy arrogance. Unaware of the flicker of hatred in Orson's eyes, I lay almost naked on the cold operating table, without anesthesia, fully conscious. I faced the human experiments ahead. Compared to my indifferent calm, Orson's emotions were far more intense. His entire body was tense, like a rope was choking his neck, sweat beading thick on his forehead. Haven't you seen this many times? Injecting the virus into different parts of my body, recording changes, then slicing organs to check for lesions, day after day. Stop talking. Extract the purest, highest concentration virus, inject it into the heart, then put me in extreme conditions for testing. The previous tests ranged from -62 degrees Celsius to 116 degrees Celsius. Will you break the record? I said shut up. Why not start? Can't bear it. Orson's eyes were bloodshot, tears flickering. He raised the scalpel against my chest, gripping it so hard his fingers whitened, veins bulging on his arm. Casper, don't force me. Don't shake. Orson. I grabbed his hand and pressed down hard. The sharp blade pierced my skin, blood welling out, pain radiating through my limbs and bones. As the pain intensified, Orson's mental state was already on the brink of collapse. Orson, this is the price you pay for crossing me and being disloyal. 11. He alone recorded and observed the daily experiments and dissections. I watched as he went from shaky and envious to cold and professional. Usually, I took these moments to tease him a bit. Orson, will you save me? Do you love me? Would you betray the organization for me? Orson glanced at the red blinking dot on the monitor, then grabbed a cloth to gag me. No, 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 really? I don't believe you. Do you deserve it? His eyes grew frosty, an indifferent hopelessness with not even hatred left. His acting was good, much better than when he tried to seduce me at the base. I flicked my fingers, releasing a little pheromone. He immediately struggled to breathe, redness spreading from his neck to his fingertips. Orson exhaled deeply, his Adam's apple moving as he pulled out a suppressor and injected it into his glands. Moments later, he returned to normal. Comparing data carefully, his expression turned serious. The new virus doesn't affect you at all. Orson rubbed his finger on the paper, brow furrowing. You've developed antibodies? I realized it too. This meant I lost my value as a research subject. Nico reacted as if it was expected. Your physiological talent is indeed top tier. Killing you now would be a waste. He eyed me with a sly smile. And you're still so pretty. He turned to Orson, bluntly probing. What do you think about turning him into a breeding machine? Orson nodded without expression. Since he has antibodies, he can probably withstand mutants too. What do you think humans and mutants can create together? Nico grew more excited as he spoke. Don't know. Forget it. Better not let him die from torture. He's too pretty. I want to taste him first. Nico eagerly approached, rubbing his hands. Orson smiled faintly, then slowly said 2 words. Together. 12. Nico couldn't wait. He stripped off his equipment as he walked. Orson followed closely. When Nico ripped open my clothes, intending to mark me forcibly, crack, Orson snapped his neck by hand. He stripped off his own clothes to wrap me, saying, "Stay close." Just like 10 years ago, he dragged me to escape. Unfortunately, after Nico's chip detected his host's death, the base's self-destruct protocol activated. Base self-destruct mode initiated. Alarms blared, red lights flashing. All mechanisms failed. A huge swarm of mutants poured out of the underground labs, breaking through iron doors, killing, tearing, and biting everything in sight. Everyone scrambled for the aircraft on the 3rd floor. Only Orson brought me to the rooftop. He smashed open the iron door with all his might, handing me a signal flare. "Go to the edge of the rooftop and launch the flare. Wait for rescue." "What about you?" He glanced at the last fragile door. "Thousands of mutants gathering outside. I'll hold them off." "No, we leave together." Orson suddenly laughed, pulling me into his arms with such force I felt like he wanted to crush me into himself. "I can't stay with you. The Skywatch missiles will come. I can't risk you getting hurt." "You knew, Captain. Do you really think I'm stupid enough to mistake a locator for a lover's curse?" He buried his head in my neck, warm liquid dripping on my collarbone. "Casper, I love you." He sniffed deeply twice, then released his pheromones. The strong scent of gunpowder, like fireworks on New Year's, choked my breath. "Don't forget my scent." Just before pushing me away, I bit hard on his glands. 13. When the mutants broke through the last gate, Galen piloted the aircraft to rescue me. Immediately afterward, a missile blasted straight toward the Annihilator's base. The explosion was deafening, fire and thick smoke billowing into the sky. People and mutants alike scattered, screams and cries for help filling the air. The powerful blast nearly flipped the aircraft. I grabbed the controls, struggling to keep balance, then forced a landing at a safe spot. "Get out." Galen glanced around, incredulous, pointing at himself. Me, seeing he didn't move, I gave him a hard kick out. "Are you crazy? You won't save him rushing in like this. You'll just get yourself killed. My mission is done. Even if I die, I have to go." Ignoring Galen's protests, I dove the aircraft into the thick smoke and flames. Charred bodies piled the ground. Debris and shrapnel flashed past, threatening to tear into flesh. I lowered the altitude, pushing through intense heat and ruins to find Orson. Finally, through the smoke and haze, I caught a faint scent of gardenia. I clawed through the mangled corpses and limbs to pull out Orson, poured a bottle of water on his face, and slapped him twice. "Wake up." He coughed hard several times, gasping a deep breath, then came back around. I knew the captain wouldn't leave me behind. After the joy of being found, his wet eyes filled with hurt and bitterness. Orson choked on his emotions and hugged me. Using his last strength, he bit down hard on my glands. "A permanent mark." "Captain, you love me just as much." "Captain, say you love me." "Captain, woo-woo." I quickly patted his back. All right, I love you. I love you." 14. I got him out safely. Galen's face, once pale and grim, softened immediately when he saw the mark on my neck. "He marked you?" "Yeah, how could he? Why did you let him?" Galen's resentful glare landed on Orson. "He's with the Annihilators. As commander, I have the right to execute him." Galen quickly pulled the trigger, but I blocked the deadly shot with my palm. "He's mine. You have no right." Before I could finish, Galen was stabbed through and through. Orson had somehow slipped behind him, eyes blood red, driving a final knife into him. "My God, what is happening?" "Orson, killing him like that isn't by the rules." Orson's eyes went black and he collapsed, playing dead, though maybe he was really dead. 15. Assassinating a commander is a serious crime. I originally planned to use military merit to save Orson, but Galen claimed his injury was caused by mutants and covered it up himself. The Annihilators' base was destroyed, their leader and virus source eliminated. I was promoted 2 ranks. I then proposed 2 bills, one to abolish the Omega breeding law, the other to grant Omegas equal voting rights with Alphas. The first was rejected, the second passed. I formed an Omega battalion, personally training them. Hollis was the first recruit to pass the selection. He fidgeted nervously before finally approaching me. "Captain, is your injury better?" I gave a soft hum and replied, "Galen's not here." Hearing Galen's name, his face immediately fell. "Didn't you say Orson stabbed him?" "He's not dead. He missed." "Ah, what a shame. But, I didn't come here to talk about bad luck." "Captain, I think you were right before. If we keep compromising for survival, eventually we'll lose even our rights. We have to fight. Only by gaining power can we have a voice, and only then can we rescue our comrades from the breeding bases." Tears brimmed in his eyes. Passionate, he gave me a bear hug, then slipped a bag of formula milk into my hand. Captain, I heard you like this. I exchanged points just for you. That made me blush warmly. Orson, get over here. Extra. Orson's heat cycles came even more often and stronger than mine. Since I was still recovering and couldn't move much, he could only take 2-hour cold showers at night, then sleep on the floor beside the bed, barely holding back his urges. I couldn't stand it, so I reached out and released pheromones to calm him. Orson nuzzled and rubbed his cheek against my palm. The next day, he bought me 2 handkerchiefs, telling me to use them for sweat, then quietly pocketed them. Whenever nothing was going on, he'd pull one out and sniff it deeply. 2 months passed like this, and then my heat cycle came. Orson sneaked out of the dorm late at night and crawled into my bed. Captain, try me. I'm definitely better than suppressants. His nose brushed my earlobe, lips teasing my neck. Pheromones flooded out, making my face flush bright red. Do you want me to choke on it if I refuse? No. If you don't agree, then, Orson tilted his head and pressed it to my chest. I'll kneel and beg you. I couldn't resist his playful assault and gave in. The next day, I couldn't even get out of bed. I rolled my eyes at him. You're weak but insatiable. Orson said nothing, only massaged my waist, patted my back, brought me tea and water. After I fell asleep, he hid in the bathroom, studying intensely. When I woke, he blushed and promised to behave this time, but I ended up stuck in bed again.